Go ahead and admit it. Your ChatGPT game is weak. That's okay, because I'm going to show you 3 clever use cases for ChatGPT. And I bet one of them you have never even thought of. Let's do this. Hey there, it is I versus AI. Last August, I decided I needed a new computer. Now, full disclosure, this was not my first computer build. It was actually my 4th, but this one was the one I was going to be splashing out the most cash on. So I needed to make sure that that build worked from the get-go. So I gave a ChatGPT the following prompt. I need help choosing parts for a new system that will be used for editing in DaVinci Resolve using lots of fusion effects. I know that those take a lot of computing power. And for using open source large language models. I finished off the prompt with this first important part. And this is tip number 1. Asking ChatGPT to ask you questions gives you more detailed context, and ChatGPT can help you better with the job. ChatGPT asked me a series of questions, which did indeed help me clarify on what it is I needed with this build, especially the part about not being brave enough to fuss with liquid cooling. To be honest, I'm still not brave enough to fuss with liquid cooling. I finished that prompt by saying to ChatGPT, now that you have those answers, please give me an idea of where to start. And this is where most people go wrong and is my tip number 2. ChatGPT's training data is always behind real time. That is why when you need ChatGPT to complete a task for you, you're going to want to bring in information from the real world. Let me say that again, because it's important. Do not take what ChatGPT gives you and go with that, particularly for something as crucial as buying a PC. This Intel i9, I knew even then was not the most powerful Intel out on the market. If you didn't know that though, and you were asking ChatGPT to help you with something like this is where you're going to need to do a little outside research. That's why I brought in a helper through this process. PC Part Picker allows you to do exactly that. Pick your PC parts and build up a PC by starting a build. When you're building a computer, you generally start with the CPU, and then you go on to the CPU cooler, motherboard, memory, etc. And you build up from there, like Legos in a way. Knowing that I needed an i9, I clicked Choose a CPU, and here under Series, I chose an Intel Core i9, and then sorted by rating. That gave me the top rated CPUs in the Intel i9 series. Here comes the fun part. I clicked Compare Selected, and then I got to this page with 4 CPUs that I was comparing. Then I just printed out the page as a PDF and uploaded that PDF to ChatGPT. This is what it printed out with some of the specs of each CPU that I could take a look at, and I could find out what each of these specs meant in detail by chatting with ChatGPT. As I narrowed in on a CPU that I was interested in, I wanted to find out what other people were saying about it. So I looked for the reviews, and I just grabbed some of the reviews from the first few pages, dropped them right into ChatGPT, because one of the things I want to give you as tip number 3 is that ChatGPT and all large language models work really well with unstructured text. You can put messy, unstructured text right into the model and it can understand it, no problem. ChatGPT gave me the pros and cons, things to consider, and made a recommendation for my build. When I was satisfied with my pick, I added it to my build and continued on with the CPU cooler. So not only did ChatGPT help me choose my parts, give me this amazing part list that I could put here in my Obsidian note-taking app. 4 weeks later, when all of the parts finally arrived, ChatGPT also helped me build the computer. And how does that build actually work in real life? Well, I'm recording on it right now. It works amazing and does exactly everything I needed it to do. In December, my husband and I decided to throw a party for 35 people a 5-course dinner, and I knew I was going to need some serious help from ChatGPT. Now, I needed to have those supplies separated out into 2 different lists, one for grocery items and another list for the party supplies themselves. I simply read out the entire supply list that I had, all of the stuff on the table, and read it right into ChatGPT. Once I had the party supplies and the food list items done, I wanted to have it categorized by menu item. You can see some of the things that I served at the party. I was in the planning stage for this party for about 3 weeks. So this chat I kept open throughout that entire 3 weeks to add items to as they came into the house or remove something from the menu if I decided not to use it. As we got closer to the party, I needed to put things into boxes, and those boxes be clearly labeled and know exactly what was in each box. I had this checklist where I could go through and check on my list to make sure that everything was in the box and everything made it to the party and nothing got lost. The last thing I asked ChatGPT to help me with was a party preparation checklist. I wanted to have the times laid out so the day before the party, we would know exactly where we were supposed to be and what each person was supposed to be doing, as I had a bunch of volunteer friends come and help me pull this off. Not to mention my fantastic husband, who did a great deal of this transporting of items and driving back and forth to storage units and all of that stuff. He's an absolutely amazing husband and a true champ. I printed this out just minutes before I hopped into the vehicle and we went to the location, and everything was laid out perfectly. People looked at this list to understand what they needed to be doing, and we all had a great time. Now, you may have noticed a lot of decorations and menus and paper things around. This party wasn't just pulled together with the help of ChatGPT. I also used Midjourney to add individuality to each of the invitations. Every single person at the party got a different invitation with a different background. The decorations, each of these I printed out twice, and then my volunteers simply put them back to back and we hung them from the ceiling with ribbon. The place cards were also done with Midjourney. Every single menu had its own background as well. If you're using Midjourney in a real way in your life, like you're actually using it in your home or in your life in some way like I've done, I'd love to know about it because I never see anyone talking about that. So let me know in the comments below. Around January or so, we decided it was time to give our kitchen and fridge a deep clean. While we were doing so, I realized how much food I was wasting. So I decided to ask ChatGPT to help me organize out my kitchen, pantry, particularly the fridge and the freezer, so I could stop wasting so much money throwing away expired food. This one was so much fun. And I really, really enjoyed the exercise. Like with all of my prompts around that time, I started out with a very messy prompt because I was speaking this in using the Talk to ChatGPT extension. I asked ChatGPT to repeat back what it understood I needed to do and ask me some questions, same as the tips I've given you already. I just answered the ones that were pertinent to what I was trying to do. After I gave ChatGPT answers to those questions, I asked it to give me some additional things I might have forgotten or would need to consider. That information, ChatGPT put together an initial table for me to track the ingredients in my kitchen. Then, standing right in front of the fridge, I gave each bottle that I was holding information to ChatGPT. It input it into this table. For each section of the fridge, I asked ChatGPT to keep track of it in a separate table. I hoped that would make it easier for ChatGPT to keep track of it over time. I included the kitchen freezer and the chest freezer as well too. Then I asked ChatGPT to give me a list of things that were opened that were expiring quickly that I needed to get rid of. Because my husband and I, by that point, were pretty hungry, I asked ChatGPT to give me some ideas for dinner. We decided to go with the quick curry with the frozen fish fillets, and it was yummy. But of course, I didn't want to stop there. I wanted ChatGPT to track the food that I needed to replace as I used up the expired items in the fridge. So I asked it to give me a shopping list. Then ChatGPT said this.
However, please note that aisle arrangement can vary significantly between different grocery stores.
And then it clicked. I actually went to my grocery store, 2 of them actually, and took pictures of the aisles in the grocery store. I uploaded those images and asked ChatGPT to track the items in my exact store location and give me a route through the store that would more quickly get me in and out of the store, while also avoiding those tricky aisles, like with the aisles with the candy on it or the desserts. Here's a recipe in that same conversation that ChatGPT gave me when I was really tired one night and I just wanted to use up these carrots. It gave me this wonderful garlic and herb butter with a splash of lemon recipe for the carrots. What I did love about this was that it gave me all of the instructions. Because I was cooking, I asked ChatGPT to give me each step, not just read out all the steps, but give me only step 1, which I would do as I was listening to ChatGPT. Then I would say, next step, please, and it would give me the next step, and so on until dinner was served. Those are some pretty cool use cases for ChatGPT. But how do they help you if you want to use ChatGPT in your life for your specific needs? I'm going to give you some tips on how to find use cases for ChatGPT in your own life. 1, get messy. ChatGPT is really great with taking messy, unstructured text, as you saw in this video, and structuring it into something that you can work with. But this does not just work with text. This also works in your life. Take a picture of something that is messy or unstructured, like a pile of laundry, some dirty dishes, a bunch of sheets of homework notes that are messy and all over the edges and written in different pen, and take a picture of them. Give them to ChatGPT and ask it to help you sort out that mess. Hey, I have a pile of laundry that I need to sort through, and it's really overwhelming. So could you just break down this unstructured, messy pile of laundry into something structured that I can move through in order to feel accomplished in my day? Thanks. Now that's a great list, but let's say that you're looking at this list and thinking that you would rather go sit on the couch and play Animal Crossing. So instead, break each section of the list up into a smaller list. Hey, ChatGPT, that all sounds amazing, but I am incredibly lazy and would much rather be sitting on the couch playing Animal Crossing. I don't even have the energy to sort these into 4 distinct piles or bins. Can you break down step 1 into even smaller subsets? And also, could you make each step have like some kind of motivation behind it? Like, cheer me on, brother. I'm struggling over here.
Got it. Let's break down the first 2 steps into even smaller, manageable actions with some motivational support. We'll tackle this together. Motivation. You're gearing up for action. Gathering these bags or boxes is like preparing for an epic quest.
Did somebody say epic quest? That conveniently brings me to tip number 2. Gamify everything. You know, an epic quest sounds amazing. Can you do something in the format of, Stardew Valley? Make it something where you turn this whole task into something that I would find in Stardew Valley, and take this whole step 1 that you've done and show me my character making progress doing the step so that I can feel like I can make progress too.
Absolutely. Let's turn this laundry task into an epic Stardew Valley-style quest. Your character will embark on a journey to conquer the pile of doom and emerge victorious.
Oh my God, conquer the pile of doom. How cool is that? Because tip number 3 is ChatGPT is amazing for turning something that you love into something that you need to complete. Whatever it might be, whether it be gaming, hiking, knitting, cooking, or even a book that you love, like Lord of the Rings. Asking ChatGPT to turn that thing, use it as an analogy for something else that you need to do, and that thing that you need to do could be something in your house, it could be something in your job, it could be something that you want to study, anything that you want. ChatGPT can do a great job of turning one thing you love into one thing that you are now going to learn or complete or accomplish. You should have some ideas flowing by now on how you can use ChatGPT in your own life, just like I did last August when I built my computer using ChatGPT. I showed you a complete breakdown, including some pictures of my terrible cord management with the computer tucked into its place in the monitor. It looks amazing. If you want to see all of that, that video is on screen right now.